the slammer, the can, the big house, your mother-in-laws, all of which are great nicknames for prison. Going to prison can be a scary time for anyone, right down to the most grizzled murderer. But it's not always as bad as it seems. In fact, some prisons can be better than our own current living situations. Join us as we have a look at some of the world's most luxurious vacation getaways. I mean, prisons, and the amenities and benefits that go along with them. We begin with Her Majesty's prison in Scotland. Unlike most American prisons, the exterior looks unassuming and more like something you would see if you were driving up to any modern office building for a job interview. Within its walls are modernized and streamlined architecture that also features cells that appear as though they were modeled by a contemporary design firm and are more like a comfortable hospital room than a grimy stone cell. Clean rooms with furniture that seem to have been harvested out of the IKEA catalog replace iron bars and grungy bunk beds. This minimum security prison features those who have been convicted of minor offenses and those who are awaiting trial. Despite its modern elegance, though, HMP still has massive amounts of violence and assaults on the staff. Next, we find ourselves in the beautiful country of Norway, where one prison is doing its best to claim the title of the world's first ecological prison. Bastoy prison was formerly a prison colony for young boys that features such luxurious amenities as wooden cottages instead of prison cells, farms to work on and learn horticulture, and in their spare time, inmates can go horseback riding, enjoy fishing, play a round of tennis, or even go cross-country skiing if they wish. While this may seem a bit outlandish for a prison, statistics report that offenders who end up being discharged from this island oasis end up returning to some form of jail only 16% of the time, compared to the overall 70% rate of those who end up reoffending that are released from other facilities. And when we hear the words maximum security prison, the first images that might pop into our minds are vicious killers and convicts like Hannibal Lecter or Charles Manson, who are such a threat that they need to be contained with serious measures. But that doesn't seem to be the philosophy of another Norwegian prison in the city of Halden. This supermax prison actually goes out of its way to focus on rehabilitation so much that its main goal is to simulate life outside of its walls. The prison doesn't feature any sort of conventional security measures. There are no snipers in towers, no rolls of razor wire lining fences, and the staff is completely unarmed. Minimal security cameras are present, and the interiors are painted with murals and decor that differentiates between the living space, working space, and educational spaces. This prison even rocks out, featuring a full-fledged recording studio, and every cell has its own shower, a flat-screen television, and unbarred windows. Inmates also enjoy sports, access to personal trainers, music, video games, and private visits that include rooms stocked with everything they need, right down to free condoms. So, needless to say, if you're going to kill someone, do it in Norway. But then again, getting arrested in Austria wouldn't be so bad either, especially if you're sent to the Leoben Justice Center. This facility doesn't have steel or concrete walls, and the cells are more like going somewhere for a vacation. Not only do inmates get their own private cell where they aren't forced to have a roommate, but each cell also comes stocked with a full kitchenette, floor-to-ceiling windows, private baths, and balconies for spectacular views and lounging. Some suites, rooms, even feature leather chairs and couches with real wooden beds and unbarred windows, making your stay feel more like summer camp than the punishment you deserve. Moving across the world, we find a few inmates who now regret ever having broken the law, because their luxury prison was actually shut down. Colalera Jail in Santiago, Chile, was once a peaceful retreat for military criminals that featured tennis courts, 5-star meals, luxurious pools, barbecue pits, and more. The facility, located on a military base, was more like a set of houses than a jail, and the men who were housed there were convicted for unspeakable crimes that included killings, tortures, and more of thousands of citizens under the terroristic regime of a former military power under the command of General Augusto Pinochet. But while in existence, it was more like a vacation hotspot. And if you happen to be convicted in Indonesia and have a fair amount of money, you can end up living just like the mobsters in the movie Goodfellas. Pondok Bamboo Prison was exposed when television cameras conducted a surprise inspection and recorded footage that showed its inmates receiving cosmetic laser surgery in their cells. That also featured lavish leather furniture that many people on a great income couldn't even afford. In addition to this, residents had personal assistants, maids, karaoke machines, lush gardens, and five-star meals. They can even pay for television and air conditioners. And with the guards' income only being somewhere in the range of $300 a month, it's an easy scheme. Later reports found that inmates even had cell phones, internet, and access to their social media accounts while behind bars. And with a simple doctor's note, they could come and go as they please. It's really not all that surprising though, since most of the inmates who receive these perks are in prison in the first place for the crime of bribery. And last but not least on our overseas lists of resorts, rehabilitation facilities, is Club San Antonio. San Antonio Prison in Venezuela, which looks more like an ongoing rave or nightclub scenario. There are constant dance parties, swimming pools, barbecues, free-flowing drugs, and guests of the inmates are encouraged for overnight stays. In reality, the only way you can tell the place is a prison is because of the armed guards that hang around outside. And all of these seem like a far cry from what we in America know as prison, but you might be surprised to find that there are more than a handful of facilities that are possibly even in your backyard with these same lavish perks. Take for example Alderson Federal Prison Camp in West Virginia. This is the same place that Martha Stewart served her time at. And the prison has facilities that include tennis courts, swimming pools, and even stages for talent shows and musical presentations. In the far north of the state of West Virginia is the Morgantown Correctional Institution, which provides their inmates free college to earn associate's degrees in things like IT and business management. So save yourself the student loan debt and just commit crimes in Morgantown. Then there's the Pensacola Federal Prison Camp in Florida, which actually employs its inmates and trains them to be landscapers and gardeners. And after a hard day of work, they can relax with movie nights, team sports, and more. What's little known is that many jails in America offer a pay-to-stay program. Under this model, wealthy inmates can actually pay to have the comforts of home, and this also includes celebrities. The LA County lockup might be notoriously represented in movies as a tough place to stay, but it actually features a wing outfitted with hotel suites. And some inmates can even keep their cell phones, making it more like a getaway than being put away. Richmond City Jail in Virginia has programs for good behavior that include daddy-daughter dance nights, in which its inmates can have their families come in for dance parties and more. The inmates also get to dress up in suits and ties and enjoy a lovely evening with their loved ones. The Duluth Federal Prison Camp in Minnesota is a rock star criminal's haven, as it features rentable instruments to outfit an entire band. That way, you can keep your skills up while waiting to be released and go on your next world tour. Lompoc Correctional Facility in California may have recently eliminated their tennis courts, but the grounds still feature volleyball courts, eucalyptus groves, and cushy accommodations. And in South Dakota, inmates get the college experience at Yankton. This former university was converted into a prison where inmates have access to wide open spaces, dorm rooms instead of prison cells, vast educational materials, and many of them are even able to volunteer for off-site work opportunities, which makes it really feel like college. Prison. With all of these great perks in mind, it really seems like going to prison wouldn't be that bad, would it? But perhaps that's just our popular opinion after having seen this list. Only those who have been there truly know. And we want to hear from you. We hope you've never been to prison, but if you have, what was it like? Let us know in the comments below. Also, while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and show your support, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching.